Diplomatic disaster. After witnessing a vicious attack by Jedi Padawan Krisk on the delegates to an important medical council, 177, Mr. X, and Corin have investigated every lead they could find, only to discover those leads investigating back. Can they trust Inspector Glop, who promises vital evidence? Who has been hacking their cons at every opportunity? Will the black-armored brigands catch them before they can complete their mission? Find out today in Catastrophe on Kessel.
All right.
I believe we left off in the ship again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We had just discovered the location of our hackers, right? I think.
Yes.
Yes.
The other side of Kessel.
Yeah, in like the ruined landscape.
Mm-hmm.
Wastelands. Teenage wastelands of Kessel.
Precisely.
So how much we have? Like 12 more hours until we have to see Glop.
I think so.
Something around that.
Okay.
I mean, at any point we can just like fast forward to that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what else we were trying to figure out. I think that's the only lead we have right now, except for the hacker. We could go investigate the hacker, but that might be.
Well, do we need to go all the way there? Hello.
Yeah, how far is the hacker? Like, how far is that spot from us?
It's like halfway across the planet, which is only like that's like an hour, I'd say.
Ooh, we got fast ships.
Okay.
We could do it.
177.
Yes.
I seem to recall you mentioned something about leaving a back door for you to be able to remotely hack into their systems.
I can get in, theoretically.
Would you mind trying? Because we seem to be short on time and, well, finding these brigands would be, I'm sure, fun. I don't know if it would be wise for us to put ourselves in harm's way so early.
This will be risky, but possible.
Why is it risky, 177?
Because the fact that if they realize they could do to us what we just did to them. If they realize.
What if we didn't use our ship and equipment to hack, but someone else's ship and equipment?
More shopping.
Or
Perhaps a bit of skullduggery, perhaps?
Are you suggesting we break into someone else's ship and use that?
break in, convince them to help us.
That's an interesting point. Can you do that, or is the back door tied to this equipment?
Oh, that's true.
Jarrett, how does hacking work?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I feel like all you need to know is. I feel like it would be location independent. Like you might need certain tools to get in, but as long as you know the endpoint.
The other thought that I was having is the reason that I thought it might be tied to the equipment is that you basically have like a code breaker on the ship that's tuned to their security.
Oh, yeah.
So you wouldn't be so it's not like a weakness in their security as much as it is like a skeleton key in your equipment.
Yeah, so it's like we could take that to another ship theoretically, but you still need that equipment. So it's like,
well, can you just copy it to another?
So I'll say I'll let you flip a destiny point to make it location independent, but otherwise you are going to need to basically use this ship.
I mean, but how much do we I mean, how do y'all feel like about that risk? Because it's like we could just like do it on our ship.
Well, I wanted to talk a poor sod into letting us use his ship, but it's
Or
up
we
to
could
you.
just find someone who's left their equipment or ship or building, for that matter, conveniently unoccupied.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so we can flip the destiny point and do that. I will need a minute to copy over the key, but we could to get into someone else's. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Excellent. Well, in that case,
Corin, would you like to find us a ship?
It would be my pleasure. I will.
So you're flipping the point. So
Yeah, I just did.
yeah. So it's you've basically you've just discovered a weakness in their security. So no matter where you are at, you'll be able to just hack right in.
Yeah.
Rewrite in reality.
Can I roll? Can I roll a perception maybe to try to find like a nearby ship that looks like a likely contender for having decent computers or something?
Or decent comms, right?
Decent
Yeah.
comms.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Why don't you roll me I think that would be skullduggery.
That's skullduggery. Okay. And what's the difficulty?
So you're in a parking lot searching for a ship. That's simple. But you're searching for an empty ship specifically.
Yes. Or I
Well,
mean,
that's
I guess
a good
it can be
question.
occupied. It doesn't matter if it's empty, I guess.
Okay,
right?
so it doesn't need to be empty. So that's one less condition. It does need to look. So are you looking for anything other than like nice comms?
Probably not overtly associated with any like governmental or otherwise organizations, you know.
Okay, and that is going to make it a little harder because this is that convention. So I'm gonna say this is probably still just medium though.
Okay, sweet. So I'd say failure and an advantage.
Failure and an advantage. Okay. So how do you think this plays out? You don't find a ship meeting those specifications.
We could find. Can we find a ship that doesn't meet the specifications that fit within that role?
Yeah. So I think the most likely thing there is I think you probably find a ship that doesn't look like it has great comms, but does look like a good target for this sort of hit.
Okay, perfect. Let's do that then. Yeah, that sounds great. What ship is it? What does this look like?
I have. Give me a sec. I have a list of ships to pull from. This is a skip ray blast boat.
Sick.
Alright.
Which are small, like, tubby, 4-person craft. Like,
they got pretty significant weaponry, right, though?
They got pretty significant weaponry. They're like, classified. I don't think they're classified as gunships. So I think gunships are technically, like, only atmosphere ships, but they're definitely, like, the reason you're pretty sure it's not going to have great comms is that it's, like, skip rays are known for, like, sacrificing a lot of amenities for heavy weaponry.
Yeah. Yeah. Sick.
Well,
Shadow.
what is are the people there? Can we tell?
I'll flip a destiny point, and yeah, there are people there.
Well, how do we want to approach this? Do we want
I,
to...
as Fef, used a dark side point.
Ah, fuck. Shoot myself in the foot again.
Come on.
Well, how do we want to approach this then, Mr. Z? How do we want
This
to...
seems like your specialty, commanding
Also,
people
I
around.
assume Lom is with you guys, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, I think we're
yeah.
still in our ship. Yeah. Or are we like standing outside the other one?
No,
We're kind of, like,
you would have
staring
had
off
to
at
have
it.
left to have gone found it. The question is, did you go
Sure,
by
sure.
yourself and come back, or did you just like all go as a group?
I think we
Assault
all
as
went
a
as a group.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you're just standing outside it, like
Well, like a little ways away from it. Not like...
yeah, but you're all like, so you're standing far enough away that it's not obvious you're looking at that ship, but like the way it's framed, it's kind of forced perspective, and it all looks like you're just standing with your hands on your hips, standing at the ship, like, all right, so now what's the move here?
What is the move here?
I like it.
What is the story? Are we diplomats? Are we perhaps members of the IMDSC? Ooh, there are so many options, Mr. Z.
Perhaps we could keep it vague, and urgent, and just leave it at that. We need their comms right now. There is no time to waste. Nothing can be done. And feel the less story they have, the less they can call us out on.
Official flower business.
Interesting. I
Official.
like this plan. Well, follow me and look important, will you?
Do it.
We'll walk on up to the people by the ship.
All right, I think this
Before we go in, I'm gonna turn to 177. 177, dear. As soon as we enter the ship, begin your splicing. Don't even wait for for permission. It'll help.
All
Sounds
right.
like a plan.
I think. Okay. So this is blast boats carry 4 people, I want to say. Yeah, so this is 4 Trandoshan. They're sitting around the lake. The door's probably not locked, if I had to guess. So you're able to just like bust straight through. Do you just like walk all the way into the common area?
Yeah.
Are they outside of the ship?
No. They're inside the ship.
Oh, so we don't know if they're in the ship or not when we're like approaching it.
No. I'll say it's like relatively obvious.
Okay.
Well, like lights are on or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like idling basically.
Okay.
Hate the environment, Jesus.
We'll yeah, I'll just no, we wouldn't bust in. That's not what official people would do. We'll knock.
Yeah.
So
Like,
are we
So
not
you knock and you stand there looking all regal like, and nothing happens, and you're like, all right. And so you knock harder and wait a little bit. And then basically, like, I want to say that you end up grabbing, like, Lom's fist and just, like, slamming the metal against the door.
Ow.
And eventually...
Ow.
and eventually a Trandoshan presses
Oh shit.
presses a button, and I want to say this is what kind of Star Wars door is this? Vertical door?
So it slides upwards.
I think it's a
it goes
flap, like a dog door, it's a vertical. Okay.
Oh, interesting. yeah, no, I like that.
Step back a bit because the door like swings at us.
Yeah, it's got like these big. So it's got 2 big hydraulics on like tracks basically, and so like the hydraulics pull up and the door opens out towards you guys, and standing there is a very big, beefy, orange-scaled Trandoshan wearing. He's wearing like all black, but it's not armor. It's like sweat clothes basically. and he's got a press badge.
A press badge.
Yeah.
In this
like media.
Decked out ship. Okay.
They're Trandoshans.
Are you the owner of this vehicle?
No. That Carl.
Well, would you get to this owner of the vehicle at once, please?
Hey, Carl! There's people here for you. And a much smaller Trandoshan comes down the hall. You imagine that this guy the guy standing before you probably has to like turn sideways walking down the hallways of this ship. This guy is able to like comfortably stroll through. So he's basically normal human sized instead of freakish monitor lizard sized. And this guy I'm gonna say is like yellowish tint. Hey, what's up, guys?
Are you the owner of this vehicle?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well,
dressed the same, I'd like to clarify. Black clothes, press badge.
Excellent. Well, I hope you're having a wonderful evening or afternoon here. Unfortunately, we find ourselves in need of requisition the communications equipment of this ship. I'm terribly sorry, but I'm sure you can understand in the unprecedented situations as caused, we must operate with the utmost efficiency.
Yeah, talk about unprecedented. I thought negotiations were going to be boring.
I'd hope they would be.
James was right about one thing here. The negotiations were short.
Well, hopefully they will pick up negotiations once again. May we come in? Again, time is of the essence.
I am going to have you roll for this.
Okay.
What do you think this is going to be?
Don't fuck up, Jeff.
Well, obviously, I would hope it's coercion, but
I think coercion is fine.
Okay.
Kind of like it'd either be deception or coercion.
I would prefer coercion by a little
Alright.
bit.
That is going to be against his discipline, which is what was that?
Oh, can I give him a blue dice by keeping my hand like on the hilt of my gun and like nervously looking over my shoulder and stuff like that, like pretending that there's some kind of urgency?
I think you can add a blue just by being present.
Oh,
Super
okay,
official
cool.
on the fly.
No, because pheromones, like,
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
and
Just
especially
spraying
when he's
them
well, I mean, that's just kind of how, yeah, like correct. I'm pretty sure that is just how Zeltrons work.
Yeah, I'm gonna unbutton my shirt and just pump them.
Just waft them over towards
Can mom can like pretend to swoon to try to sell it.
Well, because they're not like aphrodisiacs. They're more like very mild, like roofies. They just make you more. They don't make you feel a specific way. They just make you feel more susceptible, is my impression. And then mostly what Zeltrons want out of you is sex.
Yeah.
Just like because of who they are as people in general. So I think like just by being there, this guy is more likely to be intimidated by Corin.
All right.
So
And
you
it's
are going to
against his
roll
will?
his discipline, which is 1 red, 1 purple. I kind of want to give you a blue and a black for the scenario as well. Like the black, he's definitely less likely to let strange people on his ship because an assassination just went off. But there's also way more likely for official people to want to be on his ship because of this. So I'm just going to raise the stakes.
Okay. I can get rid of the black for plausible deniability.
Then perfect.
So we look
Fair enough.
Super legitimate. All right.
Hit
Oh my god. What the fuck?
I knew I should have taken a straight to lower it. Damn it.
Oh my god.
It's intense. All right. So this is This is interesting. Okay, so 4 successes. He is... Yeah, okay. I know both what the success is. The combination of the successes and despair, he is overjoyed to invite you onto his ship to use his comms. The reason for this, currently unbeknownst to you, is that his comms are, like, hugely on the fritz, and he's hoping to get a free repair job out of this.
Oh my god.
What's the triumph?
The triumphant advantage is up to you guys.
All right. What are we feeling here, guys?
Like, this could be either... I mean, this could be really anything you want. It can't directly counteract my...
These are
Trandoshan.
Trandoshan.
Yeah, so think Bosk from episode 4.
They like intimately know the Trandoshan Padawan that did the assassination.
Oh,
Could be interesting.
Like,
yeah.
they're like first cousins or something. Or
Yeah, so
whatever.
Trandoshans are very familial. So Trandoshans are like a very kind of mirror race to Wookiees.
Mhm.
In that they're also very, like, hunting and honor and combat and, like, familial clan-oriented society. Let me just double check about the... Yeah, so, well, also they hate Wookiees. That is another thing. They're, like... That's the reason I said mirror and not...
So they're the exact same, except they hate each other.
Yeah, basically. But it kind of makes sense that when 2 races that are all about being... It's like Alien v Predator, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the triumph can be that they're definitely, like, related. They're in the same clan or something. And then if you want to use the advantages on the same thing, they could even be, like, personally related or know each other.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, and that'll give you some pretty significant... We'll see how that ends up paying off mechanically, is basically what I'm saying.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll just breeze by him.
What are you using these here comms? Or so he you don't even have to breeze by him. The second you mention that, he's like, "Oh yes, right this way," and he kind of turns around and actually, like, light jogs back down the thing. Jake, I don't want to call one of them Bosk, but I'm not gonna. So wait, what are they? They're Carl, James, Jake, and Kames.
And what was the last one? Kames?
Yeah. Carl, James, Kames, and Jake. Just
Again,
Jake
very
with
familial.
It's just James with a K.
Yep. Yeah. They're
So,
actually twins.
Yeah, James and Kames are definitely twins. And they're one of them's, like... we'll figure out what's funny about James and Kames later. When we introduce them. James and Kames are twins. Alright. So he kind of, like, jogs at James, Kames, we got guests, put on the tea. And he brings you into, like, the small broom closet of a maintenance room that this blast boat has. And boy, does that despair just smack you in the face. This place looks like a combination of a neckbeard like Mountain Dew nests and those like anti-cable porn pictures you see on Reddit, where not only is this place clearly used as a combination of like smoke room / snack room / trash room, but also all of the cables are just like in tangles and disarray. All of the equipment appears to function, but it's like trying to type on a keyboard where like the keyboard has been packed with Dorito dust, you know?
Alright. I'll just turn to 177. Well, get to work, 177. And then I'll say in Utopes, once you're done, put it back to the way it was. Hop, hop.
I mean, the droids can't sigh. But
this is the equivalent of like IT herpes.
The problem is I can picture. I've seen computers like this. I hate this.
Yeah.
Corin just casually closes the maintenance closet.
Designed in a ship designed to only barely be able to house 4 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
cool. I guess I will sit down at the computer, and be thankful that I don't have the droids don't have like a gag reflex.
Yeah. You do have like you get like way more staticky though. It's like the equivalent of your gag reflex. You're just like
yeah.
Can you roll me an easy computers check with like 3 blacks?
What's the check for?
This is just to like set up comms in this place, and then because I assume that they're gonna be like, all right, get ready 117, and then go have a talk with the owners of this ship.
Yeah.
And so this is just you like figuring out how to navigate this hellscape.
Oh, okay. And so I can't get any blues from like tools.
No, you can get blues from tools.
Cool.
I'll also give you a blue for not having to deal with the stench.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, awesome. So I'm through.
Jesus.
Wow.
That's good.
I mean, computers are the one thing I'm good at.
Computers, yeah.
I'm bad at every other role in this thing, but
yeah, I mean that's kind of how droids are really the only way to like, I don't want to even say min-max, but like specialize in this game.
Yeah. Cool. So I get set up.
You're very set up. So the 3 successes, so basically you very quickly determine that all of these things are definitely going to be obstacles for an organic who is bothered by things like the tactile feeling of like grease on knobs and such, as well as like are confused by having to follow wires through tangles and such. But none of these things really bother you, and it doesn't take you long to look around and just be like, oh, I can just work around this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even need to change anything. This is just not a big deal for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to use those advantages on?
Could I use it? So, are there any like technological barriers to like just to my ability to hack right now?
I don't think so, and this is 3 advantages. So I'll either let you add. I mean, how do we want to play this? Do we want to give each of you a detail you can add about this ship / crew?
Sure.
Oh yeah, so each of us can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
And we'll say that you discover all of these helpful things somehow through various refuse in the room.
Yeah.
Like this is, like the old saying about, like, you can tell a lot about a woman by the contents of their purse. You're getting, like, the same effect of this crew via how, like, what's in this room,
Yeah.
Alright, so who wants to go first? Who has a fun addition?
They have like an extraordinarily large amount of Antifa like material and paraphernalia.
How is that helpful to you guys, though? That can be true regardless of this role, but what else?
Well, I mean, we're like anti like Sith right now, We're
yeah. Okay. So you want to lean like So do you want to say these guys are like
Anti-Sith?
What if they're like? I was gonna say they're like, but they're on a blast boat. They're like combat journalists,
Yeah. Okay.
They're like war journalists who are like actively fighting the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like media, and they're just here to record and stuff, but they're like actually like part of this fight, and they're part of the war, and are already used to like risking their lives in this sort of endeavor.
Okay.
So yeah, there's like big ol'. So what are their posters like, Bird?
There's just a lot of like dictators, like Earth dictators. Like there's Mao up there, there's Stalin, and
there's
no one knows who they are, but they're there.
Mao, which is it's M0W, and it's a robot programmed to like end human suffering by determining the ultimate like solution for resource division, but ended up being like one of the worst dictators. And then there's what's the someone help me out here.
Jeez, you could have like Stalin or something like that. Or who's the Italian guy?
Mussolini.
Yeah, Mussolini. But it's like
Mussolini.
Like,
Mustafa.
yeah.
Mussolini, yes.
Who's like trying to like do these massive like workers' rights, like reforms, but ended up just like enslaving the entire populations of Mustafar, because it's an industrial planet, right?
Yeah, their Mustafar has a ton of ore and metal.
Yeah. So we ended up just like essentially enslaving his entire population instead of like giving them rights and healthcare.
Yeah, it's rumored he just went like crazy with power after ascending.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and all of these posters have like knife marks and stuff where they've clearly been like used as target practice.
Yeah, so many darts. It's like hundreds of darts.
Yeah, there's like 4 more that are literally unrecognizable because they're like 80% whole. Right, who's up next here?
We're just decorating or like flavoring this ship.
Yeah, but also like specifically in ways that'll be helpful to you guys.
Okay.
Like an interesting one would be, so maybe they don't have the best communications grid, but maybe because they're, I don't know, like you could try and make up things that'll either be helpful for the hack or helpful to you guys in the future, or
because they are like war journalists, at one point this was like military grade equipment, but like just not knowing how to use it. And also being 4 Trandoshans, it's just like gone to hell.
I like that. There's basically, I like the idea Yeah, there's literally just like some switches you have to flip. Like it's just been off.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I'll let you add. That's probably just like a blue on the hacking check, but you have like the equivalent of some like mild slicing equipment.
Yeah. And then can I like going through? I don't know like what kind of information they'll because we just like if they're like have a family relation to the assassin. If they I don't know if they have like some like they got like an email from him and it was like like kind of concerning given like kind of providing more information on what
on
may have happened with
in
him.
general. Okay.
It could just be like, our cousin is acting weirdly. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
So you find the switches and you flip them, and you're like searching through their comms equipment, and you find like so Trandoshan Jedi are crazy rare because Trandoshans generally like Wookiees is not. It's the control and the calm and the discipline that generally precludes them.
Yeah.
And so there's a message from Krisk that they like keep on like hollow file in their video recorder, kind of like a you know how people sometimes keep like voicemails from like I'm getting married or like I'm calling to tell you I'm having a baby, and they'll like keep it and play it back. Like this seems to be like a family like moment of pride for the clan. But it's Krisk talking about his devotion to peace and how he recognizes like the strength that comes from the Trandoshan warrior way, and how he doesn't hate that and he doesn't resent that, but how he's never felt like a part of it, and that he finds like meaning and family and connection in the Jedi that he doesn't necessarily feel at home, and that this is not like a slight against the clan, but that he hopes to like bring greatness to them in a way that he wouldn't be able to before.
Okay.
So he seems like a very peaceful, non-violent person.
Yeah.
Is the big takeaway.
Interesting. So that's all the advantages then.
Yep. So you are all set. 177. What is going on in the rest of the ship?
I'm assuming Corin and I are probably having a chat with the crew.
Yeah. Are you with the whole crew or just Carl?
Wherever Carl was headed off to, he was like leading us around. So.
Okay. Yeah. So you note. So blast boats are basically a single hallway. You walk down the hallway to the cockpit. There is the single bedroom with double bunks on one side of the hallway. There is like the gunnery bays on various other points of the hallway, and then there's the maintenance hatch and the kitchen, and that is the ship. So he like points 117 there. He briefly opens the bedroom, which is empty, and actually like very neat. It's like militarily neat and made in the bedroom, despite the appearance of the maintenance room. And the kitchen, however, is disappointingly not as well kept. But however, that is where the rest of the crew is. There seems to have been a game of sabacc going on before you all arrived. There are some spilled bottles of Trandoshan malt liquor, and James and Kames, who are one of the they're like color inverted, I want to say. One of them has like very dark green scales, and the other one is like a pale, almost white blue. And they are making some tea. What have you guys been talking about? I assume by now. Oh yeah, all good. I assume by now, the fact that they are like involved in the war has come up. Their connection to Krisk has come up. You guys have like gathered a lot of the information that we have discussed out of character.
I see. Interesting. That's so crazy that you know Krisk. I mean, what are the odds of that, right? Did you know he was going to be here on this day of assassination?
Yeah, they things get kind of solemn around the table at that, and there's some head hanging and what's like a Trandoshan. They like tap their claws on their scales above their heart a bit.
But it's like rhythmic. It's like kind of drumming. They do like a claw drum circle.
Yeah. They're not beating on the same time, but they're like together. Their clacking forms like a bit of a rhythm and a beat, and they do that for a brief moment. Yeah, and it's Carl that speaks first. No, we thought he was still on Kashyyyk. He was there working to help mend relations between our peoples. We didn't even know he'd been taken until he arrived here. Actually, could you do us a favor?
That would be dependent on the nature of the favor, but you've been so open and hospitable to us that if I could, I would most certainly try.
Are all transmissions off planet have been regulated, and we have been unable to break the story to our circle in the Inner Rim. Would you be able to help give us a signal boost?
Absolutely, yes. That is well within our capabilities. We can either do it with your computer here or wait till we get back to our own equipment, because that is somewhat less sensitive information.
He takes out a holodisk and just passes it over to you, and the location to send it to is on the disk, he says.
Indeed, sir. We shall do our best, and I'm gonna tuck the disc into like my breast pocket or whatever. You know, somewhere safe.
He nods and thank you. Chris would thank you.
Did Chris ever speak of the IMDSC or the elections that were about to take place? He's been in planning for some time.
Kames speaks up at this. Oh, well, I'll be honest, we didn't keep much in contact with him once he left for the Order. He was all busy, you know?
Yes, indeed. But before that, was he wanted to stay in touch and keep up with global politics and intergalactic issues like this, or was he more of a local, grounded individual?
He was at heart a Trandoshan, you know, so he had that little bit of spark, says James. Yeah, spark.
Spock? I asked them.
I'm sure you know, this is Carl again. I'm sure you know the reputations of Trandoshans. We are known for our passion.
Indeed, of course. A most outspoken and courageous group are you.
Specific.
Are you back, Jeff?
Yeah.
No, just me.
Nah, he's
Jeff's back.
No,
Yeah.
I'm back.
Oh, he's back on. Okay, I'm gonna
Matter's
look
been
at
quiet.
Corin. Corin, you've been strangely quiet through. I was wondering.
Many to think about. I'm wondering how 177 is getting on with his.
Yes. Perhaps we should check in with him.
Yeah, 177 was
Thank you.
successfully able to prevent a dust explosion from the Cheetos and static electricity.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna keep like. Oh, sorry. I guess we're just gonna keep casually chatting with the Trandoshans. I don't know if there's any other information they have for us.
Where were you when the unfortunate incident went down?
Yeah, this is Jake this time. We were in the media room. Special high quality hollows.
That must have yielded an interesting perspective of the events, no?
Indeed. However, our footage was confiscated.
By who, if you don't mind me asking?
Some men in black armor came by, said they were with the conglomerate, took everything we'd recorded.
Everything? Come now. Reporters as you are.
You are gonna have to roll for this, because while they do like you guys,
Not that.
you know, they are suspicious people. They're rebels. They're used to living in the cold. So I will let you upgrade your check against them because you have built legitimate rapport with them. But you are still gonna have to roll against one purple, one red. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna flip a destiny point. They're really paranoid about losing the rest of their footage, so that's gonna be against 2 red.
Okay, I'll take 2 strain to downgrade it twice.
Fair. Wait, downgrade it twice with 2 strain?
1 strain I can downgrade it once, and I could do it up to 2 ranks.
Okay, so that turns it to 1 red.
Okay. Do I get a blue since Mr. Z is there?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, damn. Christ. Yeah, so...
fucking advantages, I don't need more successes.
Yeah, that's like so many successes, though.
It's at least 6.
They have 6 copies of the footage.
I was gonna say, they have, like... This must be, like, a lot of footage that they have.
It's maybe it's not just like the meeting chamber, but it's like because like they have like reaction cameras of like the crowd too and stuff, you know.
Yeah, I think they.
And so
I
they don't
think
just
they.
have
And recordings of the people that took it, like the armor stuff, the armored people.
I think they didn't. I don't think they have copies of their footage. I think they spiked,
I love
like
it.
kind of like what you guys did. They spiked the facility's security feed.
Oh shit.
And that's gonna. I think that's gonna be what the advantage is. Is that they don't have their footage, but they have like better footage. You know.
I love it.
Well, I mean, if they're rebels, like, no way when they're recording the footage, they're just recording the footage. Like,
exactly, yeah. Like they didn't even care that their footage got taken because that's not what they were there for. They were actually they actually just wanted to plant this spike and like. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's what happened here. So yeah. Jake stops at you, and in that like very reptilian way, in the way that like mammals can't fully stand still, but reptiles can, he just like freezes and locks eyes with you, unblinking, unmoving. And you, I was gonna say, yeah, you hold his gaze impeccably and just slowly smile. And his tongue flickers out once or twice.
I'm not here
and then
to take it.
What did you say?
I'm not here to take it, but to make a copy.
Yeah. James and Kames look at each other, and then at the captain, who is still staring at you. And
I
he
just let my
slowly
smile get wider and wider, showing the teeth.
Yeah, before long he gives it's definitely not a smile because smiles are like a sign of intimidation in reptilian society, but also like Trandoshans admire strength so much that this was the right move regardless. He like definitively not a smile, like bares his teeth back at you and turns around to James and Kames and holds out his hands, and they each slap a data pad down in his hand, and he turns back to you. He goes, "Only the two of these combined can be used to recover our footage. Let me replicate it for you." And he walks off.
Clever fellows.
Carl, thank you. I designed it myself.
I'm sure. Have you seen these individuals who took your nominal footage elsewhere?
Yeah, they've been all around. Yeah, they're just kinda throwing their weight around is what I say. I say they're no better than the Sith.
Well, you might be right there. Have you had a chance to look over the footage yet?
There's a lot of it, though. It's the whole facility.
Impressive. Very impressive.
perhaps
Us-
we,
Trandoshans aren't known for half measures.
perhaps we all sitting together would have enough eyes to review some of it.
What did James sound like again? Yes, I think that would be ideal. I think by now 177 is definitively ready to start the hack.
Yes, 177 agrees with that.
Do we want to? How do we want to play this out? Are you guys gonna go to him for that, or are we just gonna cut over and he's gonna be like doing his thing while you guys are doing yours?
Probably the latter.
Okay, so yeah, we cut over, and by now you're probably mid-hack, but let's roll to see how that went.
Cool.
Now, if I recall, what I said was it's not any easier to get in.
Yeah, but I can't.
Yeah, exactly. You can try from anywhere. Did you? So yeah, this is probably what did I say there? Let me look up the stats of their slicer again.
Yeah,
real quick.
Should also probably use one of our destiny points.
I was going to do that, yeah, just to upgrade this.
Yeah, so this is going to be against... 2 red, 2 purple, I believe.
Cool. Any blacks? Or...
Yes, I think there's 1, if I recall.
Okay, I was gonna.
You're capable of removing that.
Yeah, cool. So 2 red, 2 purple. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And then, so how did we say? I kind of want their Trandoshans. What's their slicing equipment? Like, what's it? I want to do something kind of interesting. I want to say that, like, so what if instead of adding a blue, you can convert advantages into successes because of their equipment?
Oh, interesting.
So they have like a very aggressive and unsubtle like piece of equipment that will almost guarantee your ability to like break through, but in doing so you'd have to give up like a little bit of subtlety and like you don't have to use it though is the thing. Like if you succeed with advantages you're fine, but if you fail with advantages you might be able to turn that back into a success.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, but in the process could have some threats against me.
Yeah, because advantages are used in computers to like remove your traces in the system and like do things like that. So you'd have to be giving up those opportunities.
Okay, yeah, that's good. But the data spike still gives a blue, right?
Did you bring the data spike? I think it's reasonable that you brought the data spike. Yeah. So yeah, you add 2 blues with the data spike. If I recall.
Nice. Cool.
That is another nice thing about this data spike is it is not. Ooh.
Nice.
Fascinating.
Oh shit. Oh.
Oh, no.
I confused the symbols for a second.
Yeah. Okay.
That's no good.
So I
think I know what the despair is.
I was gonna say I can re-roll this if I can re-roll 1 computer's roll per session.
I don't think Does it say whether or not you learn the results of that roll, or if you just see it?
I assume you don't get to know the results.
Yeah.
I assume you see it and then decide.
What ability is it?
Let me check the exact. What's the name? I just looked at it. I should know this. It is Natural Programmer.
I think that's just you roll it because that's an ability that's like there's like Natural Pilot and Natural.
It's one of those.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I can re-roll any computer's investigation check. It doesn't say anything about seeing it. I assume I don't get to know the
I think in this case, regardless, I'm gonna rule that you cannot.
Well, you can re-roll any. It's not a dice, Jared. It's you can.
The whole pool. Yeah, that's what we're saying. Is does he have to re-roll before or after he learns what exactly that despair is going to be?
Yeah, I'm inclined to say before.
I think before as well.
So can he make that choice now?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
we're just saying. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But so I think, is it worth re-rolling to potentially drop that despair?
It's up to you. Do you think you can do better if you roll again?
I mean,
but also remember, you did succeed with advantages.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not like this can. You know, you're not gonna die.
It's not our ship.
That's also true.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think I'll let it happen.
Okay. I think so. That being said, I will still allow you. So I'm going to tell you what the despair does, and then let you decide whether or not you want to turn those advantages into successes, because extra successes would actually be relevant here as well.
Okay.
Because successes are like pieces of information, and advantages are either like I want to be more subtle, I want to be quicker, or it's like pieces of it's like details on that information.
Yeah. Okay.
But the despair is, I don't think. I mean, obviously they can't know that it is you 117. I don't even think they know that it's these Trandoshans, but they are very aware that their protocols have been violated, and like basically, so you get all the information you get out of this role, and then like their system goes down.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So in that case, I'll probably convert successes because we're going for as much information as I can get, knowing that this is going to go down.
Okay, that's fair.
So what information so I wanted to figure out who they are.
Yeah, that information.
Yeah.
Is so. This isn't one of your successes. That information's not present.
Okay.
It's like you are a slicing droid. You are very used to finding identifying pieces of information in data and in systems. It is very apparent that they have gone through great lengths to not leave that information in their system.
Okay. Can I figure out where they are?
You already know actually their exact location, remember.
Oh,
this
shit.
is so that being said, once again, free, they're in the same place.
Okay. They've not moved.
Yeah, so they presumably have a site.
Yeah. Can I look for any records on what was the name of the Trandoshan?
Krisk, yes.
Yes.
So there are medical records on Krisk.
Okay. What? So can I? Or am I in a position where I can like download the files? Or
yes.
Yeah.
In fact, I think that's kind of all you're in a position to do, because you have broken their system, but everything is still fairly heavily encrypted.
Yeah.
So you're able to get like titles of files as well as like keywords and such.
But it's gonna take some time to break the encryption.
Yeah, you can't just like free read their entire database.
So I'll take the medical files on Krisk.
Okay.
Do I have anything about the election?
Let me. So yes, let me just think about what. So let me give you some options before you go any farther.
Okay.
There's medical records on Chris. There are medical records of other people as well. I don't think you recognize any of the names. Oh. Actually, do you want to roll something to like parse this information?
Sure.
To see what you want.
Yeah.
Because now that I think about it, like this is probably a pretty huge database, and you're kind of racing against the clock of them, like literally, like going dark.
Destroying.
Yeah. So
What's
what
the
do you
roll?
think this would be? I'd be willing to accept pretty much. I mean, yeah. What do you think?
I mean, I want computers. I don't know if I can get with that. I mean,
I think computers would be fine.
Yeah.
I was thinking computers or a knowledge check or perception were my.
That's true. I mean, I would like knowledge or computers personally.
I think you just rolled computers. I think we go for knowledge.
Knowledge, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, knowledge.
So, because like computers was getting in, and now you're applying more of like your protocol droid.
Yeah. Just
So
what
this is
kind of knowledge?
what knowledge skills do you have? Because you can probably use whatever you have the best in.
I have
So what do you have?
I have a rank in outer rim. I have.
Yeah, that would totally work. You're in the outer rim.
Cool.
This is generally regional information.
Yeah.
So this is probably hard.
Okay.
That being said, I'll let you keep the 2 loot from the data spike.
Nice. 3 success, 1 advantage.
All right, yeah. So there, you recognize only 2 names in the medical files. It is Krisk and Orbesh. Orbesh is the Twi'lek who was killed.
Okay. I will.
So you're taking both those?
Yeah.
There is some information on the election. There is... Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's an interestingly innocuously titled folder on the election that just like kind of rings an alarm bell for you.
Yeah. Okay. So why don't we take that?
Okay.
Is that so? That's all 3.
That is all 3.
Okay.
So you have 2 medical records.
2 medical records.
As well as this other like folder, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like typing away. There's like literal sparks flying from the various the various haphazard wiring around the room.
Yeah.
I like the idea that this Trandoshan slicing machine has like a large like piston-based physical component to it that creates this rhythmic slamming, like an actual battering ram. It's just like boom, boom, boom. And you're typing away, you instantly recognize like these 3 super important files, you download them in a flash, and the entire system goes dark. And you just like pause. I want to say that it even like blacks out the ship. It doesn't like take anything, but like the ship loses power. You're just like, whoa. And like where you guys are all in the kitchen, like tea halfway to your lips, the ship just goes dark.
Is it staying? Is it like dark? It's still dark, or does this like go back up after a second?
I think you're probably at like the switches for that, so you would have to turn it back on.
So I'll try to turn. I'll turn the power back on.
Yeah. The ship just flicks back to life.
Yeah. Is there any damage to their damage to their hardware?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
It just seems like whatever like kill command they have included a pretty powerful like back surge.
Yeah, there's a lot of feedback.
Yeah, exactly. Just as just to prevent any last minute tampering as they go dark, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any could I take a quick minute to try to make their system run a little faster?
Oh, just to help them out?
Yeah, I think thanks for letting us do this.
Neutral computers for sure.
Okay. Neutral is just nothing.
Yep, the roll again is nothing. Let's just see what you can do. There's no stakes here.
Cool. That's 5 successes.
Yeah. I mean, how do you want to? I will say 5 successes can include will be like a single aspect overhaul. You can either make this space livable, you can make it run way faster, you can make it way stealthier, something along those lines.
I'll go performance. I'll make this a lot faster because I feel like that's going to be for them the biggest the most noticeable difference.
Okay, yeah. So you just Do you want to just like mega beef up their big ol' digital RAM?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so their digital RAM is now like the digital RAM 3000.
Yeah. Cool.
Sweet. And of course you leave their like switch stuff on, I assume.
Yeah, I'll leave the machines on for them, and after I leave, I'll tell them like, "Hey, here's how you actually use this."
I feel like you should just like tape the switches on instead. You
Oh
know?
yeah.
They'll just assume that one of the other ones did it and never touch it again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
A good deed was done today.
What did we tell them when we were like, "Oh, we need to use your communications equipment"? Did we say why?
We didn't say much.
Cool.
You
I won't say anything then.
kind of you lied and said that you were with the IMDSC and they let you in and pretty immediately switched tacks to being like, oh no, we're totally like basically on you. Yeah, like the second you got in and realized they were also rebels, you were like, oh nope, sorry, we were totally trying to grift some dudes, and but it turns out you are just sympathetic to us.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming we've been watching a bit of the security footage, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We'll cut in like right as the power goes off.
Okay.
Does this happen normally, Carl?
No. The lights flicker back on.
Yeah. Nothing for it then. Perhaps we should check on 177.
Oh, there he is right now.
I was walking to the room. I was like, sorry about the power.
It's all good. We were watching videos anyways. How went your efforts?
Successful.
I'm glad.
Then I'll turn to the Trandoshans. It's like, you should have a notable increase in performance.
All right. James is my favorite.
Yeah. They're gonna clean up on Leak now.
Well, dear sirs, it was wonderful to meet you and encounter you by coincidence. I believe we have business elsewhere, though, urgent and pressing. Unless there's anything else, we probably should take our leave soon.
Unless you guys want to finish reviewing this footage.
Yeah, I guess we can do that.
Well, are we not swiping a Aren't we swiping a duplicate?
I don't know if they're. That's actually true. Yeah, they are giving you a duplicate. But if you wanted to review it with 4 extra heads.
Oh, could we not just set 177 like just a parameter? Like if you see this, pause and just have him like speed through it. Assuming he has decent processor speeds.
Or we could do like a group perception. I feel like would be.
Yeah, he'd have to roll something, but he could try. Yeah. It's also the question of like droid, like computers don't work quite the same as they do in real life, where they end up being very purpose built, and processing power isn't just like straight up processing power.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I can do. You want me to translate shit? I got you.
Thanks. All right. Well, I guess we don't have anywhere else more pressing to be. Let's see if we can't speed through this footage.
Yeah.
So
why don't you guys roll me a group perception roll?
Okay. Well, I'm useless, so have fun, guys.
So what's the best perception you can form from any two of you?
I have a yellow and two greens on perception.
Perception
These
is
guys.
I have a single green.
cunning skill. Yeah, so my cunning's
Perception
2
is
and I have no ranks in perception. So I
Yeah,
think you
these
have the
guys-
highest
yeah.
perception and cunning skill. Or highest cunning.
So it's just
perception
me.
skill.
So it's Mr. Z, and then how many people are with you?
4 of the Transdoshans and then everybody else. So I guess it's
7
7
total?
of us total.
Okay, so I'm gonna say Corin, and I think that's 4 blue. 1 for each
4
pair of Trandoshans, and 1 for each real person.
Okay.
Interesting. Awesome.
So, and what's the difficulty?
This is probably hard.
Okay. Sweet.
This is a lot of footage attempting to be reviewed fairly quickly.
Here we go. Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes and 2 advantages.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, so you guys are able to pretty effectively track Prisk's movements through the facility prior to the main event of the evening, so to speak.
Morning.
Yes, good point. He
Does
arrived.
he... Oh, sorry.
So he arrives on. Let me think. So he emerges. There's really only a few significant things about his path, though. One, he arrived very early, probably 4 or 5 in the morning.
Mhm.
The other was that he emerged from the delegate hangar, which means he would have had to have come in on one of the ship, either holding the delegates or holding their direct person.
Okay.
And then the rest of it is he just kind of slinks around. He doesn't seem very animate or interactive. He just kind of walks from place to place, from hallway to hallway, sticking to the shadows and corners, trying to stay out of the eyes of guards.
Yeah. Do we? Is there footage also? Because we had a fair few things there. So is there also any footage of who was the guy who was assassinated, or who was assassinated? Who's the target? Korfek?
Quarifyfek?
Korfek? Yeah, Korfek. Is there footage of Korfek and other relevant members to and who the person who was actually killed?
So
Their
Quarifyfek
behavior?
and Arbesh are the two other
Yeah,
main
Arbesh.
figures in that scene.
Yeah.
So Quarifyfek and Arbesh also both emerged from the same hangar at different times. I think probably Fyfek arrived, and then Krisk, then Arbesh. All within an hour of an hour start to finish though.
Sure.
The delegates and staff all arrived very early.
And what about their mannerisms? Were they obviously not Krisk, but with Korfyfek and Arbesh, were they at ease? Were they very nervous? Did they can we see that level of detail?
Yeah, Fyfek seemed relatively at ease. He visited a bar, and yeah, he pretty much beelines to a bar, spends pretty much his whole time there, and then heads to the stage after. Arbesh is, I don't know if nervous is the right word, but like very intense about their actions. They seem very like concerned, I guess might be the better word. They're talking to a lot of staff, a lot of different people. Like whether it's security, whether it's other members of their staff, other members of other people's staff. They seem to be very engaged in the making sure the events of just engaged in the upcoming speeches and such.
I see. Okay. So what do we make of this, my dear companions?
Not as much as I would have hoped.
No, indeed.
177. What information were you able to find out about those dastardly hackers? Or would be?
I was able to recover some files that I need to spend some time to decrypt. And
I bet you could use the digital RAM to decrypt them.
I will go decrypt them and return shortly.
Why have you been here? Alright.
Let's say that you can decrypt them from here.
Okay.
Since this is where like the main holo projector as well as like the ship's computer is. Like this is all connected to the stuff back there.
Okay, so I will work on decrypting them here then.
Yeah. So what do you want to do first?
I'll go with the medical records on the Trandoshan.
Okay. Yeah. I think the digital RAM now adds a blue as well as having its prior effect. This is interesting though. So you're breaking some like pretty intense encryption. I want to say God, I'm not even sure. I think this is just 3 red.
3 red?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a computer's check, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So I can add a blue from computers.
Yep.
And
in this case, yes. And in this case, advantages are like borderline useless other than increasing speed, so the digital RAM is like even more relevant.
Yeah. But the digital RAM just gives me the blue, right?
And it lets you convert advantages to...
Oh, right, yes, yeah. Yes.
And since those advantages, like, you don't need to be subtle, you don't care about leaving your trace on...
Yeah, because I have
this
these
file. Exactly, yeah.
Cool. Whack. I'm going to convert my 5 advantages to successes.
Sounds good.
Wow.
Interesting. Okay. I think the despair, I don't know if you need to. I mean, you succeeded, the encryption's broken. You have the information.
Yeah.
The advantages you might instead want to use to counter the effects of the despair, depending on what they are. So I'll tell you what the despair is. Somehow, they have implanted, basically, like, this file had a Trojan.
Oh, fuck.
And it is going to attempt to wipe their entire... It's going to definitely destroy this version of the file relatively soon after you break the encryption, and is going to attempt to infect the rest of the ship.
Oh, so I want to try to contain that.
Yeah, you are looking at a triumph and 5 advantages here. So
okay.
You have a lot of leeway to.
I have a lot to work with.
I will say I will not accept I stop it. I will accept things that result in I stop it if they are stated as a cool description.
Yeah, so I have the file. I seem like I have it like plugged into their system.
Yeah.
So what? So it's plugged in. I assume it's plugged into some device.
Yeah. So how did you immediately isolate the data into a physical form, or did you just download it to their computer and now you're like accessing it internally?
So I think when I in my mind when I was downloading the files, I would have moved it onto a separate drive, like a totally like a separate almost.
I think we can imagine that LOM just has like pockets full of data drives. So yeah, you put it on an individual drive and then you plugged it back in to access it here.
Okay.
This can include some like movie hacking bullshit, you know.
Yeah. So the Trojan, can I use an advantage to figure out what it's trying to do? Like how is it infecting things? Does it destroy files? Does it?
Yeah. Ooh, interesting. It's like, so I want to say this is Star Wars and things are weird and cool, and in the future, this is like a computer prion, effectively. And somehow, I don't know how, but it is going to attempt. It's like I want to say this is somehow like a mechanical virus that it's going to attempt to like physically destroy the computer system somehow.
Okay.
Like you decrypt it and like the ship starts like sparking.
Okay.
And like there are wires that are overheating and like all of the, you know, like how everything in Star Wars is on like spinny wheels and cogs and stuff, like those are starting to get out of control and stuff.
Yeah. Can I try to so it's just trying to spread out the system. Can I try to isolate it into so it'll take out a small in fighting fires, they will do a controlled burn around it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So try to just kind of build a wall of already broken tech around it.
I really like that.
So it can't move out past that point, and then from there, because once it's contained with that, then I'll try to just kill.
I think you can just use your advantages to do that.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. What do you want to use your triumph on? So with that, you're pretty much guaranteed to lose the console that you plugged this into.
Yeah.
As well as it stands, at least. With using those advantages, you are losing that console and the data on the drive.
Can I use the Triumph to preserve any of the data?
I love it. Fuck the ship.
Yeah, I don't care about the ship. This is not my ship. I already made it faster. You know, you can get it.
Okay.
Can he sacrifice the ship for the data?
I don't think he has to sacrifice. I think I got it.
Yeah.
So you plug it in. Let's say I think this is a Trojan that everybody who's ever been paid to work with computers knows about, and it's like the programming equivalent of the nuclear phone ringing, you know?
Oh yeah.
Where it's just everyone gets told about it, but everyone's like, yeah, the phone's never gonna ring though. We're not gonna actually have to. And you plug this thing in and you decrypt it, and like shit starts exploding in your ship, and you're like, "Fuck! It's rolling." We're gonna call it rolling, because I love altered carbon. Fuck! It's rolling, and I want to say. So it's Jake. Jake's their like tech guy. Jake knows what this is, and he's like beside you in a second, and you're like pliers.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, what? And Jake's just like, do what he says. And they grab pliers and they throw you pliers, and you and Jake are like ripping up floorboards and like grabbing chunks of wires and grabbing them and cutting them, and like at one point, Jake is in there with his, like, claws and teeth, like, scratching away at a piece of metal. And he's like, go, go, go! And you reach in and you just, like, cut out this final wire. And in front of you, this message is playing, like, as all of this happens. And slowly, like, different pieces of the console start to, like, explode. And as the destruction is, like, creeping up towards the actual, like, projector part of the console, you and Jake have, like, gotten this cable, and there's a second holo projector in the room. It's basically redundant, but they're, like, directional, so different people can watch different holos at the same time. And he's got this, like, it looks like a fire hose, but it's a data cable, it's so thick. And you two plug it into one console and you run it to the other and you plug it in, and you're monitoring the rate of like transfer of this data versus the encroaching progress of the virus. And it's like virus proximity is like 80%. And like download progress is at 81, and you're just like watching it creep up, and you're watching it creep up, and Jake's like, you gotta pull it, man, we got enough of it, you gotta pull it, and you're like, no, I can do it. And you wait there, and it hits 100, and you just like, you probably don't even have time to pull the cable, you just like, with your freaky droid strength, just like crush it.
Oh my god.
And the message flickers to life on the other console. There's like a 5-foot circle in the room that inside of which it looks like a bomb went off. There's like small fires, there's ripped up cables and cut pieces. There's like blood and oil everywhere as well, where you and Jake suffered minor wounds, completely disregarding like sharp metal edges while you lunged for various components. And all of you turn with like new reverence towards this file as it plays out in front of you.
Better be worth it.
Yeah. And
it's the gnome video.
It's I'm a gummy bear. Yes, I'm a gummy bear. No. It is a figure. They are robed and masked to the point where you can't even determine their species. This garment seems almost designed to disguise recognition. It seems it's almost like a Rorschach. It's almost like Rorschach's mask, or one of those like magic eye puzzles where we're looking at it, you can't quite focus on it right. And it's unclear whether or not this is a digital after effect or a property of some sort of disguise they're wearing. Bound to a table in front of this figure is Krisk. Hisses of anger rise up from the Trandoshans around the room as they recognize their family member in distress. And the figure is simply walking back and forth in front of Krisk, repeating a single sentence over and over again as Krisk stares blankly, dully, unsentiently ahead at this figure, his eyes not following his path as he moves. Let me find my sentence. When the droid rises, you will rise too. You will attack Quar Fifek. Arbesh will defend him. You will kill Arbesh. When the droid rises, you will rise too. You will attack Quar Fifek. Arbesh will defend him. You will kill Arbesh. When the droid rises, and before it repeats another time, Carl storms to the top of the room and slams it off. Enough! We see what's happening.
Well, interesting. Could you copy that for me, 177?
Keep it, says Carl. I don't want that. I don't want to see that again.
I'll just take the file.
Well, make a copy nonetheless. I want a separate hard copy. Alright,
I'll just quickly copy it onto a spare drive and just like throw it at Corin. A little like, the fuck, dude.
snag it. Pocket it. Very well. Let us
Actually,
see.
can I have a few different people make me some rolls here?
Yeah.
So I think each of you can attempt to gain additional detail about various aspects of this. And I think I have pretty good ideas for what some of them are. Do you guys have things that you would like to use, or would you like to hear my thoughts?
Hear your thoughts first, I think.
You can hear your thoughts, yeah.
Okay, I was thinking if 177 wanted to try and determine whether or not the distortion was like a digital after effect or not.
Oh, yeah.
I think Mr. Z and Corin combined would be a good, would be an interesting attempt to try and figure out, what exact state Krisk is in there. Because he didn't look just tied up. Like I said, his eyes were really glassy and such. And so I think you two are suspicious of, or would like to know what is happening to him.
What kind of check would that be? Like a medical check or a?
I don't know. I think so. It would definitely be computers for 177. I think maybe perception or
Sense motive.
Corin, can you roll me perception, and Mr. Z, can you roll me medicine?
Sure. What's the difficulty?
I think perception's medium, or perception's hard and medicine is medium. And the computers is hard. No.
Oh. Medium, you said, for perception, right? That's 2.
Yes.
And medicine's hard?
Wait, no, sorry. Those should be switched. Perception
Medicine's
should be hard,
medium.
medicine should be medium.
Okay. I got nothing.
Nice.
Alright.
I mean, yeah.
Rough. Alright, and hard computers. If you get enough advantages, I will let you retroactively add blue dice to their rolls.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it's a little too late for that. Never mind.
Fuck.
So you're pretty sure that it is a digital after effect, but you're also very confident that it is baked into whatever version you downloaded from their files and that you will not be able to remove it.
Yeah.
Theth, or rather Corin, yeah, Corin and Mr. Z, you're unable to identify what might be wrong with our tragic Krisk here. Like I said, he's blankly staring ahead. All you can really think, Corin, is that he might be in some sort of meditative trance to try and like escape the situation he's in mentally.
177. Is enough of this working to rewind the footage of the security camera?
Yeah, I can replay the footage.
You mentioned a droid. I would very much like to see which droid stands.
And actually, this is something you would all remember happening.
Was it that? Like
It was like a droid.
A droid. So yeah, there was a droid that rose chanting, "Restraining bolts are slavery," and as he approached, Krisk used the distraction of that to make it to this stage without being bothered, basically.
Was he the only? If we rewind the footage, was there any other droid in the audience that stood up or moved?
So you review the footage, and there's actually almost no other droids in the audience. There's some, but all of them seem to be, like, with people in one capacity or another.
Here's the other question. Do we have footage of, after the commotion, what happened to that droid?
Yeah.
And are there any identifying marks on that droid?
Okay. Yeah, why don't you and Corin want to try and roll me another combined roll?
Sure, perception.
So that's just you perception, and I can offer a blow,
Well,
I guess.
I think I would also accept vigilance.
Vigilance.
In this instance.
I have 1 green, so
I'll do vigilance.
Do you want to each try 1 perception, 1 vigilance? Because this is going to be pretty hard.
I'll do a vig.
Is it hard difficulty or?
I was going to say this might be daunting.
Daunting, exciting.
Which is 4, yeah. You do have 2 nice looking destiny points right there.
Yeah, I'll flip. Wait, so
I'll offer you a 2-fer. You can both upgrade for. No, this is so you're each rolling for the same thing basically.
Okay.
But I'll let you upgrade both for 1.
So if it's 4 green, it turns into 5 green.
If it's 4 green, it turns into 3 green and a yellow.
Okay.
Jesus.
Come on, Corin. Fuck.
Oh my god.
What a useless yellow die.
So, what you guys both see is basically like the lightsaber comes out and pretty much the entire crowd stands up at once, you know? Whether or not they're just like, Jesus Christ, immediately running for the exit, immediately like running at Krisk or anything, you know? Like,
wait. I add a blue to all perception and vigilance checks. Could I just roll a single blue?
Yeah, just roll the blue and we'll add it to the...
Please. Fuck. Fucking useless.
Jeff.
Too good.
Bullshit.
Too good.
You see nothing.
Yeah, and as the crowd of would-be heroes, security members, and people running for the exits behind the stage washes over the droid, you are unable to see him again from that point.
Could I use my advantage to like find like another step in like I can't track him, but is there something that like I could use my advantage to help? Like just someone else I have to contact or reach out to track down.
Or like
I was gonna say, I think you can have either like something. You can either like notice something about what I've described, or perhaps like an identifying feature on the droid.
Notice. Could that something be like him interacting with someone else, or is that too big?
Yes. No, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Could it be that like someone pulls him somewhere, or like?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. As the droid like watches up, as the crowd like washes over the droid, you see. Yeah, so you didn't notice them before, but there were like. It's a little too. I think you just see like a member of the crowd. Like, you don't notice it right away, but after noticing this person, you like go back and track every motion of this man across the entire thing. He's never in a place where you can like get a really good look at his face. He's clearly human, but you can't tell more than that. And as the crowd washes over the droid, he places a second restraining bolt on it. Before the crowd washes over the droid and neither figure is seen in great detail again.
Could we see what seat number he had?
Yeah, he was not. So he was like very close to the front.
Would we have to like go back into the arena to find the exact number?
I don't know how the seats are numbered. You do know which seat it was, though. Yes.
Ooh, Zeus 043. Thank you for the follow.
Hey, thanks, Zeus.
You've caught the end of the stream actually, but yeah, yeah, okay, because it was assigned seating, so
Yes.
that is
Mhm.
so like I don't know the number, but we know exactly which seat it was.
Yes. You know the number.
That's
The
like-
number does not exist, however.
Okay, I got you. All right.
So we could.
Let's just call it X7.
Okay.
Spooky.
Also, Zeus, if you would like to catch up on the story thus far, we have some VODs up.
I don't believe in birds. Neither do I, Zeus.
They work for the bourgeoisie.
They work for the bourgeoisie, and Bill Gates sponsors them.
Yeah.
Sponsors their green cards. Okay, well, unfortunately, it is 4. So is this a decent stopping point?
This is
think
so
so.
yeah. Well, let's say you're like. Let's jump cut a little bit forward. Everyone decides to like take a nap, basically, before meeting with Glop, I imagine. Like, this has been a lot of work on everyone's part. And we just see Corin like staring at this loop of security footage over and over and over again in the darkened ship, and it is just their face illuminated by the pale blue light of the hologram. Hologram. Jesus, I kept wanting to say holocron. And after maybe the 100th time of them watching it, they slam the pause button right as the crowd touches the droid. And there's the zoom enhance, zoom enhance, zoom enhance, and right between that person's fingers as he's like moving past that droid is that second restraining bolt being attached. And we cut to black for the episode.
Oh, except for his predatory smile.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It cuts to the restraining bolt. It cuts to Corin's like hauntedly illuminated like evil grin face. Cut to black.
I love it. All right, well, thank you for those of you who have been watching or joined us late. Thank you for watching. Again, all of the VODs are posted on our YouTube channel. You can find that below. Thank you for joining us today, and watch out for the exciting next installment next week.
Which
Thursday,
may
2
be
p.m.
the thrilling conclusion.
Ooh.
Ooh.
We
Well,
are
definitely tune into that.
Yeah. I think I would like to do next session before we start. I'd like to do a semi-extended like what do we think's going on so far. Get everyone's like we did a little bit of one last time, but without Jarrett, and I'd love just like a either in or out of character. Just like I said.
Yeah. Be fun.
All right.